Good morning and welcome to 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcasts, a daily financial news capsule to get you clued in for the day. It's Friday, the 11th of October, and I am your host, Bhaskar Datta. We'll start with a major development in the war in West Asia. Gulf states are exerting pressure on the US to prevent Israel from attacking Iran's oil sites due to concerns that their own oil facilities could face disruptions from Tehran's proxies if all-out war were to break out in the region, Reuters reported, citing sources close to government circles. Gulf states including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar are also refusing to let Israel fly over their airspace for any attack on Iran and have conveyed this to Washington, the report said. Making its intentions very clear, Iran has sent a message to Saudi Arabia that Tehran's allies in countries such as Iraq or Yemen may respond if there was any regional support for Israel against Iran. Remember, Iran carried out a massive missile strike against Israel earlier this month, following an escalation in attacks by the latter on Lebanon-based Hezbollah. In another key global development, latest data showed that US consumer prices registered a slightly higher than expected rise in September, with the country's consumer price index rising 0.2% last month versus expectations of a 0.1% rise, according to a Reuters poll. However, the data may not deter the US Fed from reducing interest rates again next month, as the annual increase in inflation was the least in more than 3.5 years, Global Report said. The inflation data is one of the most important variables considered by the US Federal Reserve when it comes to acting on interest rates. Even as US equities fell on Thursday, Asian stocks looked ready to strike up gains today, with Japanese stock futures inching up. Keeping in mind that expectations of rate cuts in the US have been one of the key factors behind recent global market swings, with any signs of more easing likely to push asset prices higher. Turning to domestic news, Air India has placed a fresh order for 85 Airbus jets and now eyes more Boeing planes, said an international media report. This is after a historic order of 470 planes last year. Airbus said late on Wednesday that an unnamed customer had placed an order for 75 A320 family jets and 10 long-haul A350s, a deal worth more than $6.3 billion after typical discounts, according to Cirium Ascend data. Indian carriers have, as of now, more than 1,000 planes on order from Airbus and Boeing to be delivered over the next 10 years. As the festive season kicks in, online marketplaces sold goods worth $6.5 billion, or almost rupees 55,000 crore in 1 week of sales, marking a 26% increase from last year, with mobile phones, electronics, consumer durables, home and general merchandise accounting for 3/4 of the total sales. Sales in the week starting September 26th made up for about 55% of the total e-commerce sales expected in the festive season this year, according to Datum Intelligence. Here's the latest on fundraising plans by Adani Enterprises. The company has raised $500 million through its qualified institutional placement, which opened on Wednesday, ET has learned. The Adani Group flagship, however, decided against exercising a green shoe option of an equivalent amount despite robust investor interest. The QIP saw an order book of more than $1.5 billion. It was launched with a base size of $500 million and a green shoe option of another $500 million. The QIP attracted investors such as GQG Partners, Quant Mutual Fund, SBI General Insurance, SBI Life Insurance, and HDFC Life Insurance, and a few ultra-high net worth individuals. Let's discuss some numbers to gauge how the crucial IT sector is doing. Remember, IT company financial results are often a barometer of how the services sector overall is performing. India's largest software services exporter, Tata Consultancy Services, reported a 5% year-on-year increase in net profit to 11,909 crore rupees in the second quarter, driven by the ramp-up of its 15,000 crore rupee deal with state-owned telco, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. This, even as clients in the key markets of America and Europe remained cautious with their technology spends. CEO K. Krithivasan cited some signs of improvement most notably in financial services in North America, acknowledging that the demand outlook continued to remain cautious. E-commerce sales may be booming during the festive season, but everything's not rosy on that front, especially when it comes to the government's strict gaze on malpractice. The government is planning a crackdown on e-commerce companies after getting several complaints from consumers about online retailers flouting norms related to dark patterns during the ongoing festive season sales. Dark patterns are deceptive techniques used by online platforms with the aim of luring users, such as sneaking something extra into a consumer's cart during checkout, creating a false sense of urgency by saying only one item left, or forcing consumers to take memberships. That's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in to 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcast.